With the imminent release of Deadpool and Wolverine coming out in just under 2 months, all roads lead to Avengers 5, because you can't get to Secret Wars without having another Avengers movie. So we know that the end of Deadpool and Wolverine is going to have to set up this whole multiversal saga massively, and we already know there is a crazy, mind-blowing post-credit that everyone knows about, but no one's actually talking about. So we know the following: that Captain America 4, whatever happens in that movie, and Thunderbolts Asterisk are going to have some multiversal concepts, because whatever happens in their movies, they're going to have to set up with a new Avengers team because we don't really have one. So there is some pretty cool information going around about Avengers 5 and potentially Avengers 6 that is coming from scoopers, but it's not really, because I hate to say it, this is not actually new information. It's just being regurgitated and recycled into being new information. But sure, Marvel have had to change their plans, kind of, for Avengers 5 because of the whole Jonathan Majors getting fired scenario, but it's still going to be called Kang's Dynasty. There is still going to be Kangs going forward. They're not ditching the Kang storyline at all, but according to reports, Victor Von Doom, Doctor Doom, could appear in Deadpool 3 and could appear in Secret Wars. Well, we did have the Doctor Doom Secret Wars comic book cover, so I guess that's where people are getting that from. So, yo, what is freaking good YouTube? Warstu here. If you are new around, make sure to subscribe to never miss any of the Kaiju, Monsterverse, Marvel, DC, Pop Culture Bits content that I try to cover on a daily basis. Go subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on, and let me know how much money realistically do you think Deadpool and Wolverine could make, even though the budget is going to be very high. That's going to have to gross close to $800 million to break even, if not go close to $1 billion. Let's be honest. The fact that Doctor Strange 2 had a production budget of close to $400 million and made like $960, it still made money, but it didn't make that much money. So if you could become a channel member for less than 99p, less than $1, it helps keeps the lights on this small YouTube channel. Also, if you want to check out the beautiful face behind the beautiful voice, check us out on Instagram at Warstu. The face gets more beautiful every day. Also, if you could, check us out on Twitter or X.com, because Elon Musk can't afford to get rid of the Twitter part, because people still know it as Twitter.com. So, Warstu G over there. Right, let's break it down. So, Deadpool and Wolverine comes out in just under 2 months. Sure, there's going to be huge hype for that. But the problem is, where do we go from there? Well, there's going to have to be some insane post-credit stinger at the end of that movie to set up the multiversal saga. Because let's be honest, we're in a multiversal saga still, although a lot of people don't really seem to think that. So, this is not new information, but let's go over it. Avengers 5 is going to be a standalone movie, grounded, but it's still going to have multiversal concepts. Okay, so it's basically the same movie. Avengers Secret Wars, probably most likely, will be part 1 and part 2. This information is courtesy of Reddit. It was on Reddit like a year ago, but yeah, the scoopers are claiming it's their info, but no. It's actually from, in fact, most of the information coming out at the moment is actually from Reddit. Sorry, lads, it's all from Reddit. So the Council of Kangs apparently are still going to be in the mix, but there is convoluted mixed stories going around that all the Kangs are going to be killed because they're going to fight each other for the Prime Kang, and that's how they're going to, like, use different actors. So the Council of Kang going forward will be played by different actors. Okay, obvious story, bro. Some will be played by non-known actors, as well as a well-known high-budget actor who will be cast as Kang Prime, main variant. Interesting. But again, this comes from literally Reddit. Let's just say Reddit is the source of everything, because let's be honest. So Kang Prime, it could be the case where the end of Ant-Man 3, where Kang the Conqueror was kind of defeated. He got sucked into whatever that was, and he's going to come out as the Beyonder. And that could be the variant of Kang that is actually Kang Prime. And as we know, there's going to have to be some variation of Doctor Doom. If the rumors are around that Doctor Doom will be getting announced soon, I mean, there's only one actor realistically that could play Doom, and I don't care what anyone says. Cillian Murphy from the Peaky Blinders, Mr. Oppenheimer himself, is going to be actually Doctor Doom. So, you'll see lots of information going around. Avengers 5 is shifted. It's more standalone. It's still got multiversal concepts. Okay, that is not new information. And there's actually information going around that is very misleading. So Avengers 5 will film in January in England. And then there's some reports, and actually I've seen something going around, that says they're going to be filming in LA. The reason why most of movies film in England now, it's because you get a huge tax rebate. You get like 33% of the production value back because for some reason the UK government want you to film movies in the country, even though taxpayers are funding it. And also, the box office is currently dead because no movie this year has banged $1 billion, and we're over halfway into the year already. So, okay, this whole scenario makes no sense. It'll be more grounded, but it's still going to have a multiversal concept. Interesting. So as we know, and this is not new information, I don't care what wannabe scooper says this, of course a new Kang's going to be out. Yo, I mean, I wish more people would start thinking for themselves. How are we going to have a Kang in the movie without a Kang being announced? So, John David Washington was in talks with Marvel about playing Kang earlier this year. Cool story, bro. Literally everyone's been in talks. Bryan Cranston, Warstu, literally everyone's been in talks to play a Marvel character that you've never heard of. And of course, the internet has culminated a list of people who could be in the running, but most likely won't be. So, Caucasian male actor, unknown, John David Washington. I mean, personally, I think this list is made up, but let's just run it just for joke. Carmen Domingo, you remember that name went round. It went round massive, and he was confirmed to be Kang like months ago, but let's be honest, that never happened. So it'd be interesting, regardless to who actually gets the job as the main Kang Prime. Kylfi Cerebro. There are so many people on this alleged list of who should or who could become Kang, and I think it's going to be absolutely none of these people. But let's keep going. There's a few more names on this list. Lemore Merritt Jr. Like I say, you may not have heard of some of these actors. It depends, like, because most Marvel fans... Okay, this is kind of... Okay, some Marvel fans don't watch real movies. What I mean by this, some Marvel fans don't actually watch movies outside of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So that's a list that's apparently come from Holyfield News, who's blocked me on Twitter. I wonder why. But yeah, it's interesting. So most of this information isn't actually new at all. Of course, Feige has had to shift a little bit because they wait. Well, they didn't actually wait. They knew exactly what they were going to do as soon as the court case come to a verdict. That's why Marvel shifted very fast. And I wouldn't be surprised if they actually fired him before the end of the court case. They just couldn't publicly do it because of the whole Jonathan Depp case. And we all know how that went. Obviously, it's a different scenario, but they let him go as, obviously, Jack Sparrow, and Warner Brothers fired him from Fantastic Beasts for absolutely no reason. So is this any actual different than any of the other Avengers 5 information we've had for the last year? Not really. I don't understand why these scoopers keep saying, like, yo, they're shifting. No, not really, because it's still a multiversal story. The rumors are it's still going to have a Council of Kang scenario, but they're going to be completely different actors. So it basically sounds like the same movie. They've just had to shift it a little bit. And also, before we get to Avengers 5, we can't get to a place where Avengers 5, they form the new Avengers. We know within Captain America, the next movie, that no one really cares for because they had to reshoot the whole movie, and that tells you a lot, is they're going to have to form the team, and maybe form the team in also Thunderbolts asterisk. So also in the news, so there's a compilation from a leak that came out on Reddit from 8 months ago, and it basically exposes one of the so-called trusted insiders. So the boy Geeky Cast put him on blast because information from this apparently was a scoop. This came from Debo1. If you want to know what the Thunderbolts is actually about, the team is sent to what they discover to be a suicide mission. They were not supposed to come back alive. When they realized it, they team up to take down the person who sent them to die. And yeah, if you look, I'm not going to put the link, but go on Geeky Cast's Twitter page or his YouTube and you'll find it. And it was on there. And what's interesting, what's also on there, is Tom Holland, Spider-Man is the chosen one from the Universe 616. And that's pretty much still the case when we get to Deadpool and Wolverine. It says Deadpool and Wolverine end up in a new universe at the end of the Deadpool 3. So Jackman is definitely here to stay, at least until the end of Secret Wars. It's worth saying that some of this information has changed because on here it says, well, say it again. Foggy is dead in Daredevil Born Again. He dies in episode 1. Okay, that was supposed to happen, but there was a massive retcon and, you know, they scrapped the whole series, so they've changed a lot of things. There are many Deadpool variants and many Wolverine variants. That's all I'm going to say for now. Okay, it's interesting, but it's interesting to look back on a story that's 8 months old. It is very much a multiversal story. In fact, the most direct build up to Kang's Dynasty and Secret Wars in regards to Deadpool 3. Yeah, that's been pretty consistent. Interesting. Most of the leaks coming out about Deadpool 3 line up with this. I don't want to reveal too much. The TVA picking the chosen one from each universe because they are collapsing and want to put him in a new universe. Elektra is the chosen one from the Daredevil universe regarding Deadpool 3. This one's interesting. Feige lied, just like when he called Multiverse of Madness a team-up movie between Doctor Strange and Wanda. Yelena is the leader of the Thunderbolts. Bucky, Red Guardian are not part of the team. They join in the third act. Jeez! And this one here is interesting. The plan is for 616 Earth to be destroyed. Post-Secret Wars, a new Earth will remain and be the base for the MCU as for the rest of them. Obviously, not everyone's going to die. They will find a way to get them all on the new Earth. So, soon as this information goes back over, well, 8 months ago, it's looking pretty embarrassing. Like I say, a lot of this, I mean, people think I hate scoopers. I don't. I just like to put out, like, information that I think is real. Well, not real. I just like to say where it's coming from. So, it's looking like scoopers are recycling information from Reddit and 4chan over the past year or so, because like I've said multiple times, a lot of these scoopers are getting their info from Reddit and 4chan and random people on Instagram. It is what it is. It's interesting. I like to cover everything Marvel, DC, Kaiju related because I'm a pop culture channel. I've been around for a while, so I'm just telling you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear, and I won't sugarcoat. It's just looking like some of this information is pulled from Reddit and it's labeled as an exclusive story. So like always, guys, check us out on Instagram at Warstu to see the Be Your Face, find the Be Your Voice. Check us out on Twitter, WarstuG, and I'll catch you in another, guys, very soon. Catch you later.